This is the Washington Times front page for Monday, October 20th, 2025. Thanks for starting your week with us. I'm George Gerbo. The U.S.-backed ceasefire in the Gaza Strip is barreling toward collapse after Hamas killed 2 Israeli soldiers and Israeli forces responded with airstrikes on dozens of targets. Then Wolfgang reports after a string of incidents targeting Israeli forces over the weekend, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met with his defense minister and other security officials and directed strong action against Hamas. The renewed clashes and the end of aid deliveries to Gaza threatened to completely unravel the Israel-Hamas ceasefire agreement, which President Trump strongly endorsed after U.S. diplomatic involvement. Whether the ceasefire would hold was always a question, with doubts about whether Hamas leadership, even if it wanted to, could exercise control over various factions across the Gaza Strip. The government shutdown is entering its 4th week and is unlike any other previous one because President Trump has made carve-outs to reduce the widespread pain and put the suffering almost exclusively on federal workers. The dichotomy is glaring, Jeff Murdoch reports. Previous presidents ensured that the pain of government shutdowns were spread equally to increase pressure on Congress to reopen the government. President Trump has provided many exceptions for those who rely on federal services, such as redirecting $300 million of tariff revenue to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program for women, infants, and children, which was in danger of running out of money. Trump also directed the Pentagon to use all available funds to ensure active duty U.S. troops are paid during the shutdown. He didn't enact that maneuver with any other agency. Congress faces new calls to change the law to bar illegal immigrants from carrying guns while serving as police officers after the arrest of a man in Illinois. Stephen Dinan reports the Hanover Park Police Department said it hired a Montenegrin citizen, Radul Bojovic, in January. Those without full lawful status are generally prohibited from possessing a gun under federal law, but there's an exemption for having a weapon given by a government agency, including a police or sheriff's department. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement said Bojovic came to the U.S. on a temporary visa that expired in 2015. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons says protests and sanctuary jurisdictions are forcing the agency to divert personnel and hindering its ability to arrest and deport illegal immigrants. In a wide-ranging interview with our Alex Sawyer, he defended ICE's heavily criticized efforts while claiming democratic sanctuaries have stoked rhetoric and attacks on agency personnel. Lyons denied accusations that ICE is arresting U.S. citizens and sending agents to arrest children at schools. And finally, the Chinese Communist Party has announced the ouster of 9 senior military leaders from the uppermost ranks of the People's Liberation Army. Bill Gertz reports the removals included one of the Army's most senior generals, He Weidong, who was removed several months ago as vice chairman of the Central Military Commission. Several of the 9 ousted officers had been identified by authorities as under investigation for alleged crimes and corruption. Firings for corruption are not unusual in China, but many of those named in the latest dismissals are protégés of Chinese President Xi Jinping. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.